Hello guys, in this video I will discuss Java encapsulation program practice and solution, and this is the video on encapsulation. So encapsulation is the OOPS concept. So firstly discuss on encapsulation and then programs. Okay, so encapsulation is like a capsule. In capsule, data member and member functions are encapsulated in a class. So this is called encapsulations. Like this class, there is a class, and in class data member and member functions are encapsulated. Okay, so for achieving encapsulation, we have to make this data member as a private. Okay, so when we make this data member private, we can access within the class. This data member we can access only within the class. But if you want to access from outside the class, then without permission, we can't access. So we use its method its method getter and setter. By using getter and setter method, we can access these attributes or data member. Okay, and this getter and setter methods make public. Okay, so this is a for in encapsulation data member. Now we make data member as a private, and if you want to access from outside class, then we use its method. So this is called data hiding. Okay, so next we'll discuss on programs of encapsulation. And the first program is write a Java program to create a class called person. Firstly, we have to create a person class with private instance variable name, age, and country. So firstly, we have to make person class having attribute name, age, and country, and make public getter and setter methods to access and modify these variables. Okay, so I switch to Eclipse ID. So I open here Eclipse ID and create a Java project, oops, Java project, and in SRC folder, we create encapsulation package. So in encapsulation package, firstly, we have to create a new Java class for person. Okay, so I use person class, I create person class and then finish. And another class for test class. Here I use test class, and in test class we have to create main method and finish it. Okay, so firstly I create a person class. In person class we have to create firstly we have to set its attribute person class containing data member and member functions. So for achieving encapsulation, we have to make data member as a private, and person have a data member is name, age, and country. So I make this private. Here I declare name, age, and country. Okay, so these data members are as a private. So we can't access from outside of the class. This data member we can access within this person class. So for accessing from outside the class, we have to make its data member function. We have to make its data member function as a public. So here generate getter and setter. So select all. So using permission, we can access from outside the class. So using this getter and setter method, we can access this private member, data member. Okay, so also we have to create constructor for construct an object. So I use here parameterized constructor. If also here there is a superclass or a default construct. This is a superclass constructor. So if we can't provide this constructor, then default constructor is called. So here person is a class is created here. Then next test class, from this class we can access this person class. Okay, so firstly I have to create its object. So person class is created, and using this single person class, we can create multiple objects of this person class. Okay, so we can make number of person object. So firstly I create person object P1. First object is P1. So we have to create person object. So I use here new keyword and person class name. So this is a first object. You this is a first object with of reference P1. So this is a first object with reference P1. P1 is the first object is created here, and this is a default constructor. And if I directly print this P1 value of P1 in system.out.println, then default value is assigned. Okay, so here I give firstly name, and for accessing name I use p1 dot get method, get name. Okay, and second is age. For accessing age we use also p1 dot get age, p1 dot get age. And third one is country. For accessing country I use p1 dot get country. Okay, so I maximize this. Okay, so I save it and run Java program. So here default value is print here. So when we create object, then default constructor is called and default value is assigned. So here I use parameterized constructor. I create in person class, so we can create object uh, using constructor, assign value using constructor. So here using constructor I assign value for first object. So I use Prithvi name. Second is age, and third attribute is country. So I use India. Save it and run Java program. So using this constructor, we construct object, and using getter method, we can access its data member. Okay, similarly, we can also create second object and also change its reference. Okay, so here I create two object of person having its attribute and print or access its attribute using getter method. Okay, so we can access attribute using getter method, and if you want to modify its attribute, then we use set method. So we have to change name of the first person, so I use set method, set name, and here I change name of Prithvi is Pooja. Okay, and print here and again print this, and here we updated update name. Okay, and run it. So after setting its name is updated. Okay, so using getter method we can access its method data member, and using setter method we can modify its data member. Okay, so this person's data, this object, this class data member, this person class, data member of this person class, we can access and modify using this getter and setter method. Okay, so the next program is write a Java program to create a class called bank account with private instance variable account number and balance. Provide public getter and setter methods to access and modify these variables. So I switch to Eclipse IDE and create. I comment this, and firstly I have to create a bank account class of bank account. Using this class, we can create multiple bank account object. Okay, so attribute of this bank account is account number and balance. Okay, so for accessing this private data member, we have to create getter and setter methods as a public. So select all and generate. So here bank account class is created, and in test class we have to create bank account. So here I create bank account class having attribute, having data member and member function. Data member is a private and member function is a public. So in test class we have to create its object. So account bank account BA. BA is a reference, or account is a reference. Bank account is a reference. I use is equal to new object is created for bank account. Bank account object bank account, first object is create here, and we call default constructor here. And for setting its value I use setter and getter method. For setting I use setter method. So here bank account, this reference is used dot set account number and use string. India Post Bank 457 I use. And second I have to set it balance, bank account dot set balance, and I set here bank balance. Okay, and this using set method we can set value, and for accessing its value I use here getter method. So I use here system.out.println and print here. Firstly I print bank account number. So for accessing bank account I use here its reference dot get method, and balance. For accessing balance, I use bank account reference dot get balance. Okay, so I save it and run this Java program. So this is our account number and bank balance we can access. So using set method, we can set values, set attribute, and using get method, we can access its value. The next Java program is write a Java program to create a class called rectangle with private instance variable, length and width. Provide public getter and setter to access and modify this variable. Okay, so I switch to Eclipse ID. So for create a object of rectangular, firstly we have to create Java class for rectangular. So firstly I have to create Java class for rectangle and then finish. And its attribute is, firstly I check its attribute is length and width, and this attribute data member we have to make private. Okay, and for accessing this data member, we have to use here getter and setter. So from source, I generate here getter and setter. Okay, so I save it, and from test class, so I comment this. And in test class, firstly we have to create rectangle object for rectangle. Okay, so first object is create for a rectangle, and using setter method, I set value, set length and width. So length is 10, and second width we can set or modify using set method. So width is 5. So using setter method, we assign or set values for rectangular object. And here I print this. We can access using getter method. Okay, so here I access length. For accessing length, I use here its reference angle dot get length. And for accessing width, we have to use here firstly it's at its reference angle dot get method get width. Okay, so getter and getter method, using getter method we can access value, access attribute or data member. Okay, so I run it. Using set, we can set the value, and using using getter method we can access its length and width of the rectangular.